Member for Blain.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I rise today to support this bill, and I had another speech prepared, but I just want to agree with the contribution from the member for Drysdale, or the poet of Palmerston, as we're coming to call him, because of his eloquent contributions. Everything costs money. In my own electorate of Blain, people in Woodruff would love to have shade cloth over Woodruff Park next to the school, but that costs money. We need money for the council to fix all the potholes that are around the place. I think there's another stage coming to the swell pool. That costs money. All these things that we want to provide to our communities cost money. And where does that money come from? I'd like to bring a statement to the House. There is no such thing as government money. There is only taxpayers' money. So when the government spends money, where does it come from? It comes from tax that is paid from people like, well, probably not like us. We're fortunate. Here in this House, we represent our communities, but the people of Blain, the people of Drysdale, the people of Brennan, the people of Spillett, the people all around this territory who go to work every single day. I'm sure, Member for Drysdale, you have people like mine, people who, like Jim from Malden. So Jim's a retired truckie. He lives on a pension. He was a contractor, so he drove trucks during his career. He doesn't have a super. So he has to survive in public housing on a pension. Now, when the rent comes out and he pays his bills, he has very little to survive on week to week. So he has to make every dollar stretch as far as possible. I would love to be able to announce to him that we're going to be able to cap his rent. He's scared that his rent's going to go up. I would love to be able to say, you're all good, mate. The territory coffers are doing great. We don't have to put your rent up. But I can't say that, because the state of the territory's finances that was left to us by the previous Labor government are parlous indeed. I'd like to speak about the nature of entrepreneurship. And I'd love to be informed if any member of the opposition or the crossbench have been involved in a small business where your pay depends on what you can earn in the free market, in the private market. All right, the member for Johnston has been waving. I'd love to hear about that later. When you step out into private enterprise, you are taking a huge risk. Will your product be successful? Will people be interested in it? Will people buy it? As well as that, there's what economists call regime uncertainty. What are the rules of the game that I have to comply with? What licences do I have to get? What permits do I have to get? Now, I know, growing up in Batchelor, I know quite a few people in the cattle industry, and if you have a property, there are no end of rules you have to comply with. If you're exporting beef on the live export market, you've got to certify that there's withholding periods. All of those things are to do with food and making sure that our food is safe, and that's great. But you don't need more restrictions than are required to provide for environment, for health, and for safe food. So when you come along and you say, oh mate, I know the law says that you've cleared, you're allowed to clear a certain amount on your property for a house pad, but you've cleared, 5 metres too far, so we're going to whack you with a fine and we're going to drag you through the courts. That's a bit excessive. People need to be able to know when they're stepping out into business what the rules of the game are. They need to be able to know in advance, okay, I have to go and get some investors, I have to comply with this. I have to, there's environmental, there's public consultation, but if we can say to them, if you can tick all these boxes, then you'll get approval to go ahead. Whereas for too long, they've gone and they've ticked all these boxes, they've done the consultation that the law requires, and then the rules of the game have shifted underneath them, and they haven't, and so then they've had to go and dig in their pockets, go back to their investors, and start the game all over again. There's the Territory Coordinator is an important piece of legislation to bring certainty to business investment in the Territory. I can't remember which member it was that said it earlier today, but I think it was the Deputy Chief Minister, member for Nelson. I think he said the Territory is one of the smallest jurisdictions in the nation. We should be the most agile. We should be the most welcoming place to do business in the entire nation, perhaps in the world. Businesses should be beating down our door to set up shop here so that we can accommodate them, so they can bring jobs, they can bring investment, they can pay payroll tax, they can create economic activity, and we can all benefit from it. We need this certainty to foster a growing economy and certainty for businesses to invest and grow. I just want to quickly comment on the scaremongering that has gone on about the Territory Coordinator, about Aboriginal land and native title. Both of these are federal legislation which the Territory Coordinator cannot touch, so they are safe. There's no ability for the Territory to affect federal protections. And just quickly, the member for Nightcliff did say that the Territory Coordinator is unprecedented. A quick Google will show that there are Coordinator Generals in Queensland and Tasmania. The ACT has a Coordinator General for Housing. Now, on the Queensland Government website, it does say that the Coordinator General has wide-ranging powers to plan, deliver and coordinate large-scale projects. So it's hardly unprecedented. In fact, you might almost say that we're coming late to the game, with the CLP government only coming to power 6 months ago and 8 long years of Labor government before that. On that note, I look forward to the economic development that's going to come under this CLP government, and I commend the bill to the House. Thank you.